The Mass family has been admired for their looks for generations, and they earn a lot because of it too. Okus, the eldest son, is an internet influencer thought of as a love guru by his followers who are millions. Pakar, the father, dated over 1,200 women before meeting their mother, who is quite handsome herself thanks to her masculine face and mustache. Kulin, the youngest son and the protagonist, is the most attractive of them all. The family is used to being attractive, except for Kulin, who struggles to live a normal life because everywhere he goes, girls follow him, often passing out, getting nosebleeds, and even going completely crazy on having a look at his face. He has never had a genuine interaction with any girl in his entire life. He doesn't leave his room and has been homeschooled. His only friend is his fish, with whom he often talks out loud or even plays cards with. His family keeps an eye on him using a camera in his room because they are worried about him. Okus often shows him pictures of girls and tries to get him hooked up, but he only wants to date someone who likes him, not for his face, but for his personality and interests. When nothing motivates him to go out, his family plans to fake being broke so that he must go to a normal school. One night, his parents pretend to be worried over financial issues and tell him that they will only eat scrambled eggs for breakfast until they collect enough money for Kulin's homeschooling. He feels guilty for causing his parents so much trouble. The next morning, he tells his family that he has decided to go to a school, but only if it is an all-boys school. His family is still happy, taking one step at a time. A few days later, his brother drops him off at school on his bike, and he decides that he will not take off his mask to hide his handsome face. However, the plan backfires as the helmet draws attention, and even the class bully, City, comes to him on the last seat. When the teacher enters the classroom, she too notices the guy with the helmet. She orders him to take it off, and he has no other option but to obey, so he takes off the helmet, revealing his handsome face. This causes the teacher to hyperventilate and have a nosebleed, ultimately passing out and being taken to the hospital in an ambulance. The other students complain to the principal that the new guy is way too handsome. He runs in the hallways trying to get away from everyone, but a bully trips him over and takes him to the school's storeroom. They introduce themselves in the classical Power Rangers style. They are the Tikatak, a group of 3 led by City, who is also the principal's son. They tell him that they need help to ask out a girl. They have been in their senior year for 3 years now, and they refuse to graduate till City goes to the prom with the most beautiful girl in school, Amanda. She only takes requests from handsome guys, so they want Kulin to deliver the message. They even put Kibo in charge of guiding him. Kibo is a victim of bullying and must do whatever the bullies say. Kulin takes him to the principal's office to file an official complaint, but Kibo knows the outcome. The principal is frustrated because his son refuses to graduate each year, and so he wants Kulin to do whatever the bullies say. The two of them then decide they will talk to Amanda the next day. Although the first day at school does not go as Kulin had planned, he is happy because he finally has a friend who is genuinely kind to him and is not nice to him just because of his beautiful face. The two of them go to BBM the next day, where the girls smell the presence of boys, and when they see a boy with a helmet, they demand that he remove his helmet. When Kulin takes off his helmet, chaos occurs in the school. The reaction from girls makes its way to the television, where news is spread about girls' noses bleeding, being possessed, and going crazy because of a guy. Kulin is dubbed as the too handsome to handle guy by the news channels, and Amanda sees it as well. She is impressed at the very first sight of him and decides to impress him at any cost. Girls start gathering outside the Moss residence, and so Kulin's family starts charging for a house tour. Kulin is watching his family on the news while hiding in the streets, feeling betrayed and used. He doesn't talk to them when they call him. Moreover, his fish is killed by the tourists, which makes his day even worse. He is hiding from the crazy people looking for him on the roof of a building, where he hears a girl from behind him ask if he is going to jump. He is surprised to see her not get a nosebleed or pass out. She walks away. This makes Kulin feel something he had never felt before. Later, he contacts Kibo, who then brings him to his house. Kibo and his grandmother welcome him. He sees two rare collectible cards in Kibo's room and realizes that they have more in common than he thought. The next day, they go to the girl's school to look for that girl. There, they meet Amanda as well and hand over the proposal from City to her. She pretends to be unimpressed, but her nose bleeds after Kulin leaves. They see the girl on the stairs, but the crowd doesn't let them get close. Over the next few days, Kulin and Kibo bond and even go for futsal together. There, Kulin sees his crush working at a shop nearby. Kibo then introduces his crush, Rere, thus making Kulin realize they both have a crush on the same girl. He sees that Kibo and Rere are quite close. This makes him jealous, and he isn't able to sleep that night. He talks about it to the love guru, who is very happy that his brother is finally interested in a girl. He forgives his family because if they hadn't sold him out, he wouldn't have met Rere. The brothers go shopping, and Okis makes a list of things that Kulin could do to impress her. Kulin isn't ready to give up on his first love as well. Later, Amanda comes to the boys' school to hand over an invitation and a phone as a gift to Kulin. Kulin, Kibo, and Rere go to karaoke, where Kulin gets a chance to sing with her, but he sees that she is only focused on Kibo. That's when he notices that she likes him too. When Kibo isn't around, he asks her bluntly about it. She denies. But when he says that Kibo likes Amanda, her face turns sad, thus confirming his suspicion. Kulin then asks Amanda to do something for her, and she says that she will do anything he says. When Kulin and Kibo go to Amanda's birthday party, Amanda seems more interested in Kibo and even takes him away to talk in private. When Rere arrives, she sees Amanda kissing Kibo. Taking advantage of her vulnerability, Kulin confesses, but she says that she never saw him as more than a friend. Meanwhile, the bullies also see Amanda kissing Kibo. They beat him up, and Kulin watches from nearby, scared to interfere. After they're gone, Kulin takes him back to his house, where he helps the grandmother dress his wounds. Watching Kibo in pain, Kulin feels guilty and decides to give him one of the cards that Kibo wanted and confesses everything he did. Feeling betrayed, Kibo tells him that he would have left Rere for him, but what he did was wrong, so he should leave. Knowing that it was his fault, Kulin left. At last, Kulin returns home after a month. His family is overjoyed, but he isn't. He locks himself up in his room and doesn't talk to anyone at all. He misses his best friend. The two of them bump into each other at school, but a glance is all that Kulin gets. His mother, worried about him, shows him that his fish is actually alive and tells him that he can go back to being homeschooled if he wants. Realizing that there are people supporting him, he decides to make things right. He goes to Rere and tells her everything. Then, he goes to Kibo and apologizes, but he doesn't reply properly, so he asks about Rere. This makes Kibo tell him how much she means to him. Kulin shows him that Rere was on call the whole time, thus correcting his mistakes and rebonding with both. At prom, Kibo and Rere are together while Kulin is with Amanda. Kulin wins the title of prom king and hears a girl comment that he is only mildly attractive, thus making the start of a new adventure in the world of love.